Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast. Today we're taking a focused look at Nuvve Holding Corp, ticker NVVE. You sent us a collection of information about them, and our mission is really to extract the key insights and help you understand what's most important right now.
Hmm.
We have information ranging from recent developments and market impact all the way to a detailed due diligence report.
Right.
This should give us a solid foundation to understand where Nuvve stands and, what might be on the horizon.
Seems like a good set of materials to work from.
We'll explore their recent strategic moves, financial health, competitive position, and potential future outlook, all based on the information you've provided. Okay, let's unpack this.
Okay. Well, to get us started, it's worth noting Nuvve has scheduled its Q1 2025 financial update for May 15th. That's coming up soon. It'll be via conference call. This upcoming report will definitely be a critical marker for understanding their current performance.
Absolutely. That's a key date to mark on the calendar. And leading up to that, they've certainly been active. A significant move appears to be this strategic acquisition. The goal seems to be expanding their IP, revenue stores, and market presence.
Right, by bringing together two V2G innovators, as the notes say.
What's the immediate takeaway there, do you think?
Well, this acquisition, it suggests a clear priority for Nuvve. Pretty rapid expansion in the V2G market. Instead of just relying on, say, internal growth, they seem to be looking to quickly capture more market share and maybe technological advantages.
Okay.
This kind of aggressive approach, it can be effective in a developing sector like this, but it also brings challenges like integrating new teams, new technologies.
Makes sense. They're also establishing a regional foothold, it seems, with Nuvve New Mexico LLC, focusing on clean transportation objectives there. What's the thinking behind this kind of targeted expansion?
This regional focus, it probably ties into specific opportunities or maybe state-level initiatives within New Mexico. Things related to fleet electrification or perhaps grid modernization grants. It shows a move beyond just broad global ambitions to targeting, concrete, potentially lucrative applications for their V2G tech.
Got it. Then there's this interesting appointment, James Altucher as an advisor on digital assets, focusing on cryptocurrency and blockchain opportunities. How might that fit into their core energy business? Seems a bit different.
It is interesting, isn't it? This move, it raises some intriguing possibilities. Nuvve could be exploring how digital assets might, say, streamline energy transactions on their platform, or maybe create new revenue models linked to the decentralized nature of blockchain. It's potentially a high-reward area, but also one with, frankly, considerable uncertainty in the energy sector right now.
Right, uncharted territory for them, perhaps. And on a global scale, they've launched NUVVE Japan using a franchise business model. What are the implications of using that approach for international growth? Is that common?
Opting for a franchise model for Japan, it suggests a strategy that maybe minimizes their direct capital investment up front. It lets them leverage the local expertise of their franchisees. This can make market entry faster, potentially, but it also requires really careful management to maintain brand consistency and, crucially, service quality across different partners.
Okay. Let's turn our attention to the market side. As of May 8th, 2025, Nuvve's stock price was sitting at $1.14.
Okay.
How might these recent strategic moves we've just discussed be influencing investor sentiment, if at all?
Well, the information you provided does suggest that these things, the acquisitions, the international expansions, forming new subsidiaries, could be contributing factors. Investors might be reading these actions as positive signals, signals of growth and a commitment to diversifying within the sustainable energy landscape, and that can generate some optimism.
However, we are missing some pieces of the puzzle here, aren't we? The sources don't really give us insight into trading volumes or current analyst ratings.
That's right. While we can sort of speculate on the potential market reaction to these announcements, a complete picture would really require examining that trading activity, seeing what the analysts are saying, to gauge the strength and conviction behind any stock price movements.
Understood. Let's step back for a moment and just clarify Nuvve's core business. They position themselves as a global leader in vehicle-to-grid or V2G technology. For someone perhaps less familiar, what does V2G actually entail and why should they care?
Okay, so at its heart, V2G tech lets electric vehicles not just pull power from the grid to charge up, but also send power back to the grid from their batteries when needed.
Okay, bidirectional.
Exactly. Think of your EV becoming essentially a mobile energy storage unit. It can help stabilize the grid, especially as we add more intermittent renewables like solar and wind. For you, the owner, this could potentially mean lower energy costs, maybe even earning some revenue by letting your parked car support the energy network at peak times.
So it's really more than just charging. It's about this two-way energy flow with potential benefits for both EV owners and the grid itself.
Precisely. And Nuvve isn't just talking about this in theory. They offer complete turnkey electrification solutions, particularly for fleet operators. And crucially, they've already deployed their V2G technology across 5 continents. That demonstrates a significant level of real-world application already.
Okay, that's helpful context. Let's dig into their financial performance now. In Q4 2024, they reported $1.79 million in revenue. That's a slight uptick from the previous year. Is this a meaningful indicator on its own?
Well, look, a modest increase in revenue is generally a positive sign. It suggests some growth in sales, but it's really essential to view this within the context of their overall financial health, which, well, we need to discuss further.
Right. On that note, their net loss did decrease. It came down to $5.1 million in Q4 2024. That's quite an improvement from the $7.3 million loss in the same period of 2023. Does this signal maybe increasing efficiency in their operations?
The shrinking net loss is generally encouraging, yes. It indicates they might be managing their expenses more effectively relative to their income generation. It certainly suggests some progress towards achieving profitability, or at least reducing the burn rate.
However, and this looks like a big however, the debt-to-equity ratio is stated at negative 425.5%.
Wow.
And negative shareholder equity of $1.3 million, coupled with $5.5 million in total debt at the end of last year. That paints a concerning picture, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. These are significant indicators of financial distress, frankly. Negative shareholder equity means liabilities outweigh assets. Full stop. And that extremely negative debt-to-equity ratio, it just underscores a heavy reliance on debt financing. That creates substantial vulnerability, especially if revenue growth doesn't really pick up speed.
Right. Essentially, they owe significantly more than they own, based on those numbers.
That's the bottom line from that snapshot.
And their cash reserves at the end of 2024 were quite low, too, just $4.4 million, especially when you look at that debt burden.
Very low indeed. This limited cash position, it really highlights the urgency for Nuvve. They need to either generate more cash flow from operations, and quickly, or secure additional financing to meet their obligations and, importantly, fund those growth initiatives we talked about.
They did manage to raise about $2.6 million through debt and private placements in early 2025. Does that provide a significant buffer?
Well, any new capital is helpful, of course. But the amount raised, $2.6 million, it's relatively small compared to their total debt and that negative equity situation. It suggests an ongoing, probably pressing need for financing and highlights the continued financial pressures the company is under.
Okay. So based on everything we have, what would you identify as Nuvve's key strengths? Where do they shine?
Several factors do stand out. Their pioneering V2G technology offers a genuinely unique value proposition in the market right now. Their established global presence, deploying on 5 continents, shows they can implement these complex solutions in diverse markets. That's not easy. And strategic alliances, like the one mentioned with EDF Group, they lend credibility and potentially expand their market reach significantly.
Okay. Conversely, what are the most significant red flags that, potential investors or anyone watching should be considering?
Well, a major factor is their fundamental dependence on the widespread and, crucially, rapid adoption of electric vehicles. If EV uptake slows, their potential market shrinks directly. Also, the increasing number of competitors in both EV charging generally and potentially the specific V2G space poses a growing threat. But fundamentally, you have to come back to those concerning financial metrics, the high debt, the negative equity, the low cash. These represent substantial risks to their long-term viability.
Makes sense. In terms of that competitive landscape, the sources mention names like Wallbox and ChargePoint. How does Nuvve really differentiate itself in this crowded space?
Right. Wallbox and ChargePoint are big players, mostly known for smart charging infrastructure, the hardware, and networks. Nuvve's core differentiator, though, is their proprietary V2G technology, that bidirectional capability. That specific focus sets them apart from companies primarily focused on just enabling one-way EV charging.
Got it. Looking ahead then, what are the key catalysts, the potential positive developments that could really impact Nuvve's trajectory?
Their future earnings reports are number one, particularly this upcoming Q1 2025 update on May 15th. That will be critical for showing financial progress. Favorable regulatory changes, too. Anything that incentivizes EV adoption and specifically supports or mandates V2G technology can provide a massive tailwind for them. And of course, forming new strategic partnerships could further validate their tech and open up new markets or customer segments.
Are there still significant headwinds or uncertainties sort of hanging over them?
Certainly. The intensifying competition within the EV and energy sectors is real. That could put pressure on their market share and maybe pricing power. Regulatory uncertainty is always there, surrounding energy policy, grid integration standards for V2G. That remains a potential risk. And of course, overshadowing everything is their ability to actually improve their financial health. That will be absolutely paramount.
The due diligence highlights you provided, they seem to underscore a few key points we've touched on. It emphasizes their leadership in V2G as a major competitive advantage.
That first mover status, or at least early leader status, in what could be a transformative technology, gives them a valuable edge, assuming they can capitalize on it effectively.
It also noted a significant customer backlog, including that opportunity in New Mexico we discussed. This suggests potential for future revenue growth locked in.
Right. A healthy backlog provides some degree of revenue predictability, which they need. It also indicates market demand for their solutions. The New Mexico project, in particular, could be a substantial near-term win if it comes through.
And the broader trends, increasing EV adoption, the general need for grid modernization, these are definitely supportive wins for their core business, aren't they?
Absolutely. These big-picture macroeconomic trends create a favorable environment for technologies like V2G, which can play a really crucial role in building a more sustainable and resilient energy infrastructure for the future.
But that due diligence also circled right back to the critical risks we discussed, specifically the high levels of debt and that negative equity.
Yes, those financial vulnerabilities remain a central, unavoidable concern. The company absolutely needs to address these to ensure its long-term sustainability. It's the elephant in the room.
So wrapping this up, based on the information you've shared, Nuvve presents this, well, compelling but really complex picture. They are clearly innovating in a sector with significant growth potential that V2G technology is fascinating, and they're pursuing an ambitious expansion strategy.
hmm What's particularly noteworthy, I think, is the stark contrast between that technological promise, the market opportunity, and the significant financial hurdles they currently face. They're operating in a market with strong underlying trends, definitely, but their balance sheet presents considerable challenges right now.
Right. The financial metrics, especially the debt and equity situation, they just raise critical questions. Questions we'll all be watching closely, particularly with that upcoming financial update on May 15th.
Definitely. That upcoming report is going to provide vital insights into whether their operational progress, like deploying the tech and signing deals, is starting to translate into a more stable financial foundation, or not.
And that move into digital assets with James Altucher, it adds another intriguing, maybe unexpected dimension, potential opportunities there, but it also adds another layer of complexity to their overall strategy.
It does. It represents a potentially innovative direction, could unlock new value streams maybe, but its integration with their core energy business and its ultimate impact, that remains to be seen. It's a bit of a wild card.
So ultimately, while their technology and market positioning hold definite promise, keeping a very close eye on their financial health and the broader trends in EV adoption will be absolutely crucial for understanding their long-term potential. We hope this focused exploration has provided valuable insights for you. If you found this analysis helpful, please do subscribe, like, and maybe leave a comment with any further questions you have or perhaps other topics you'd like us to explore like this.